Hey, welcome back. You know that feeling when you're in a used bookstore and you pull a volume off the shelf and the pages are filled with a script you've never seen before? The letters are familiar, but they're arranged in a way that makes absolutely no sense. It's a little thrilling, a little frustrating. Now, imagine that feeling, but for over 100 years. Imagine that the book in your hands isn't just a few pages of nonsense, but over 200 vellum pages filled with an unknown alphabet, bizarre botanical illustrations, astrological diagrams, and drawings of tiny, naked women bathing in what looks like green plumbing. And no one, not a single person on this planet, has any idea what it says. That book exists, and it's our story for today. I'm Ibnul J. Farabi, and this is the Curiosity Compendium. Today, we're diving into one of the most enduring and exquisite puzzles in human history, the Voynich Manuscript. Let's set the scene. It's 1912, in a villa near Rome. A rare book dealer named Wilfrid Voynich, that's who gave the book its name, is going through a chest of manuscripts he's just purchased from a Jesuit college. And he finds it. A strange, small book, clearly medieval. He was ecstatic. He thought he'd found a lost work by Roger Bacon, the 13th century philosopher. He sent copies of the script to the best cryptographers of his day, sure it would be cracked in a matter of months. More than a century later, we're still waiting. The first thing to understand is the sheer physical presence of the thing. It's not a myth, it's a real, tangible object. It lives at Yale University's Voynich Rare Book Library. Carbon dating places the vellum between 1404 and 1438. The ink and paint are period appropriate. This isn't a modern hoax. Someone, in the early 15th century, went to enormous expense and painstaking effort to create this. They carefully prepared the calfskin, ruled the pages, and spent months, maybe years, writing and drawing in this unique script. Every single character was drawn with a quill. Every intricate illustration of an unidentifiable plant, every mysterious constellation, every one of those peculiar bathing nymphs was painted by hand. This was a monumental labor of love or obsession. And that's the first, most fundamental question. Why? Why create a book that, to all appearances, communicates nothing? So what's actually in it? The manuscript is generally divided into sections. The largest is the herbal section, full-page drawings of plants that don't exist. They have roots, leaves, flowers, but they're like botanical Frankenstein's monsters, composites of real plants or pure fantasy. Then there's an astronomical section with circular diagrams of the sun, moon, stars, and zodiac symbols, but they don't match any known celestial charts. There's a biological section, which is where we get those famous bathing women, connected by networks of tubes and channels, often interacting with the strange green fluid. There's a pharmaceutical section with drawings of plant parts and apothecary jars. And finally, there are pages of dense text and paragraphs and what look like labeled stars, written in that utterly unique script. And the script itself is fascinating. It's not random scribbles. It has all the statistical properties of a real language. Certain characters appear at the beginning of words, others only at the end, just like in many real alphabets. The word lengths follow a natural distribution. It has repetition, but not too much repetition. It behaves like language. It just doesn't mean anything to anyone. Naturally, this has been a siren song for code breeders. During World War II, a team of top American cryptographers, the same minds who broke Japanese naval codes, took a crack at the Voynich during their off hours. They failed. The NSA studied it during the Cold War. They failed. In 2017, a historian claimed it was a women's health manual written in a lost proto-Romance language, but his theory was widely dismissed by linguists. Then, in recent years, artificial intelligence has been brought to bear. One study used algorithms to analyze the script's patterns and suggested it might be encoded Hebrew. But when they tried to apply their decryption key, the output was, at best, a garbled, unconvincing mess. The most persistent theory is that it's a sophisticated hoax, a constructed language, or a cipher with no key, meant to defraud a wealthy patron, perhaps a Holy Roman emperor who was obsessed with the occult. But that theory always stumbles on the same point: the sheer, overwhelming, consistent effort to create over 200 pages of such complex, internally consistent gibberish with such detailed and specific illustrations just for a one-time scam? It feels inadequate. It doesn't match the passion we see on the vellum. This is where I have to bring in my own perspective as an engineer and a storyteller. When I look at a problem, I'm trained to look for the system, the underlying logic. And when I listen to the stories of the Voynich, I'm struck by our human need for that logic. We cannot accept that something so ordered could be meaningless. Our brains are pattern recognition machines. We see faces in clouds and hear words in static. The Voynich is the ultimate test of that instinct. It presents a perfect, beautiful pattern and dares us to find its source. But what if we're asking the wrong question? We keep asking, what does it say? What if the question is, what does it do? Let me explain. I grew up in Bangladesh, in a culture rich with rituals and symbols whose original meanings are sometimes lost to time, but whose power remains. The act itself holds meaning. What if the Voynich manuscript was never meant to be read in our conventional sense? What if its value was in its creation and its possession, not its content? A meditation manual where the act of copying the script was the point? An alchemical object where the book itself was a talisman, its very strangeness a source of power? Or, perhaps, it was the work of someone whose mind simply worked differently. A brilliant, isolated soul creating a complete, private universe on the page, a universe with its own rules, its own botany, its own astronomy. A work of art, not as a painting to be viewed, but as a world to be built. In that light, it's not a failure of communication. It's a stunning, solitary success. The Voynich manuscript, in the end, is a mirror. For cryptographers, it reflects an unbreakable code. For historians, a black hole in our records. For artists, a breathtaking mystery. For me, it's a profound reminder of the limits and the beauty of human understanding. We live in an age where we believe everything can be known, given enough data and processing power. The Voynich sits in its climate-controlled vault at Yale and gently disagrees. It is a testament to the fact that the past is not a puzzle we can completely solve. It's a story we are constantly interpreting, and some chapters are written in a language we may never learn. It tells us that mystery is not a temporary state, a problem to be solved and filed away. It is a permanent, necessary part of our world. It keeps our curiosity alive. It forces us to wonder, to imagine, to project our own stories onto its cryptic pages. In its silence, it has generated more stories, more theories, more passion than most books that can actually be read. There's a strange magic in that. Thank you for joining me for this deep dive into the book that no one can read. If this story sparked your curiosity, I'd be so grateful if you'd share this episode with a friend who loves a good mystery. For more stories that explore the fascinating edges of history, science, and human ingenuity, make sure you're subscribed to the Curiosity Compendium wherever you get your podcasts. This is Ibnul J. Farabi from Light Not Studios. Until next time, stay curious.